You asked us, how do we come and show you 3 examples of differences between the Hafs Musaf? How can we show you if it's just a reading?
Easy. Let me show you. If I were to read, I'll tell you. If I were to read something,
It's not about the reading, Mansur.
Ask us for 3 examples. Anywhere in the world you said.
look, if you really want to know, I'll show you. If I were to read the printed text, even the printed text, it had a totally different word, totally different verse, totally different chapter, then you will be absolutely justified to say they are different. My challenge was, hang on, my challenge was this. The Hafs reading, they have been preserved. Now I will demonstrate from all the Hafs that you have today how they're preserved.
One.
Yes,
I only need one, brother.
I'll tell you.
We got many examples. Show us this.
Let's deal with one. So which number of this chapter do you want me to read? Verse 16. Okay? So now,
it's underlined for you actually. We made it very easy.
hang on.
It's here. We underlined for you.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Okay. So I'm going to read, right? I'm going to read. Excuse me. Shut up and listen.
Where is the letter?
know your visa application.
Now, remember what I said? The readings, right? So I'm going to show you the reading. I'm going to read.
No, sir. We want you to tell us where is letter Nun.
Where is Nun?
Remember, our claim has always been reading. So now,
Can you be
don't
quick,
be
please, yeah?
of course. So don't interrupt me when I'm reading there. Thank you.
It's just this verse.
I'm reading. Good. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وأن لو استقاموا على الطريقة لأسقيناهم ماء غدقا. Did you hear that all? Now, notice the difference when I read this. This is supposed to be another different.
Brother.
Right?
Wait.
Don't interrupt.
You just read the wrong thing. And we told you to read that.
I have read that. No, I have read that.
Why are you looking at this one when you're
Because
reading?
that is part of the ayah. I finished the ayah.
No. Can you read it again, please? Look at that and read it again.
Okay.
Look at that and read it again.
will read
So your eyes.
Listen.
You're looking here reading.
Listen.
And you're telling me you're reading that.
Listen.
Come on, man.
Listen.
Just read it for me.
Read. I'll read. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا. Okay, this is a part of the ayah. I've read. Let me read it again 2 times so you all can hear. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا. Now let me read the so-called different reading. Okay? Hang on. Let me read. Okay. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا. وَأَن لَوْ استقاموا. Was there any difference?
Okay.
Identical.
Okay, cool. Wait. The question is clear. Question, you might leave. I know. Question is clear. The noon here. Why do we have it here, but we don't have it there?
Okay. Now, coming back to this noon, or not this noon, I'll tell you why. If you see this word, waw, alif, or hamza, and then lam, and there's a shadda. Quranic orthography is acceptable to write in certain places. The word is wa'an law. An and law. This an law can be written as Allah with idgham. Assimilate. Let me finish. Let me finish. So now listen. Why the noon is listen. So now what you realize in the orthographical representation of the written text, orthography can be with the form of assimilation between the 2 particles, and you're interrupting when I'm speaking.
I thought you don't listen to it. Just keep going.
Why interrupt? When you have the 2 particles, an and law, in the reading, when we read, you would read Allah. The noon disappears. The noon is assimilated. Let me finish. The noon is assimilated into the letter lam. That is the. I'm not finished. Why are you saying okay?
You answer the question.
No, I haven't. I'm not finished. I want you to fully understand that. So here it is. Are you listening? I want you to look at me when I'm talking to you. Daniel, right. So, when it's the written representation of the recital. Remember, the Quran is a recited text. Represented.
Allah given to people.
No, the Quran says, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, and recite it with proper recital. The Quran tells you it's a recitation. The Quran says, إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَ. Allah says to us, it's the gathering and it's reading and recitation.
Okay, so what you're saying...
I've not finished yet.
But what you're saying, let me just try to understand you here.
Go ahead.
Let me try to understand. What you're saying, I want the camera to catch this, yeah? What you're saying, what you're claiming is, there has been an intentional human intervention in the Quran.
No. No, let me tell you why no.
Whoa. You just claimed it and you're saying no.
No. I want you to now listen actively rather than your preconceived figment.
So who assimilated the noon?
Listen.
Who assimilated it?
Listen. Are you listening?
Yeah.
I'm explaining. If you were to bother to listen actively, you would have understood what I said. I said, when we represent in writing the oral text in graphic form, now how do we represent this sound? When the sound is one of assimilation. When we say, وَأَنْ لَوْ إِسْتَقَامُوا, the an and the law, in reading, they assimilate in one form called وَأَلَّوْ إِسْتَقَامُ وَأَلَّوْ. Right? Same word, same meaning, identically. When we write it, you can write the two particles separately because there are differences within the traditions of writing the Mus'haf, but the reading is exactly the same in this case. My claim that I made, the reading of Hafs have been preserved to the letter, to the dot, to the sound, is demonstrated again in example number 1. Now example number 2. Let's deal with all of them.
Let's respond. I'm responding.
Number 2.
No, you haven't even finished it, bro.
Number 2.
You haven't even finished it.
One second.
We just heard.
Janazah time.
No, brother, I don't know what you're doing now. We're going to leave
Yes,
in 5
it's
minutes.
Janazah time.
Okay.
Hafs just killed. Hafs just got killed by Mansur.
Did you hear me reading differently or the same?
The same.
Daniel, let me ask everyone now. Did you hear me read identically or differently?
Identically.
Allahu Akbar.
Be honest.
Did you hear?
Don't be like Hafiz.
Don't lie, man.
Did you hear me saying identically reading or different reading? No, I want to ask you now. I want to check your honesty. When I read them to you, were my reading identical? Were they different? No, I want you to answer. No, I want you to answer. Be a man of integrity and answer the question. Did you hear them? Okay. Did you hear them with your own ears?
Yeah, I did. But I want her to help me.
Did you hear them identical?
I want her to help me. Mansur,
Okay.
I want her to help me. So let her.
When you heard them with your very ears, were they identical or different?
Can't you help me with that?
That's your ears, not hers. I'm talking about your ears.
I'm having to heard it
So,
properly.
when you heard with your own ears, these 2 ears, did you hear me reading identically or differently?
What was my answer?
I'm here to destroy that lie.
Tell me, identical or different? Which one? Identical or different?
What was my
I want you to
response?
respond now.
What was my response?
Now, respond now.
I've already responded to
Now,
you.
respond now. Identical or different?
Let me respond.
Identical or different? Look, if you keep on playing this game, then I will
I'm
just
not playing no game. As always. Listen.
identical or different?
So, when you say you want to go, when you say you want to go for prayer, what do we say? We allow you to go.
Answer and go.
We have to go back.
Bye-bye.
So, hey, we'll come next week.
No, there is no next week. Because that was your chance. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, now, cameras, I have something to say. So, as you have now witnessed, as the whole world hopefully will witness soon when this video goes up, their claim was that I made a statement that not even a dot have changed. As you've heard from their own mouth, I made no such claims. I made no such statements. I said they're preserved even to this level of preservation. Okay? So now, having proven them that that was a figment of their imagination, what I said, then we return to their examples they thought they have brought of differences between the Hafs reading, right? First example was from this surah, وَأَنْ لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا عَلَى الطَّرِيقَةِ أَسْقَيْنَاكُمْ مَاءً غَدَقًا. Right. So my claim has always been the reading. When we read the Quran, when we read the Hafs reading has been preserved. How been preserved, I just explained earlier on in the afternoon. So I encourage and invite everyone to watch this video and in SC Dawa and OSCC, Official Speakers Corner Dawa. And we have gone in much detail in terms of the preservation between all the Hafs readings, if there is such a thing as a difference between them. But in the discussion here, we had one example they provided, saying, look, they are different. When I read them, brother, are you listening? When I read them, they were identical in reading, were they not? Everyone heard them. So I asked him this question. Did you hear me reading them? Because that's my claim, the readings. In this case, it happened to be identical. Happened to be the one that they thought was different, right? Did you hear them? I read identical or different? And he was going to get all the support from this shameless lady to answer this simple question. What he heard with his own ears. You don't need to learn Arabic or no Arabic. The sound was just a little phrase. Whether they're identical or not.
They have ears, but they're deaf.
Yes, they don't hear. Of course. Yes. So they were identical. But he would not admit that. You know why he don't admit that? Because something in here is called what? It's called the ego. The ego is controlling him. If he had any sincerity and integrity left, he would have said, Mansur, you know what? I accept. They are the identical. Yeah? But the fact that he did not respond and acknowledge and confess that these were the same in reading, instead wanted all his help from the other shameless lady and then left without responding, that speaks volumes. That shows these people that come here without any substance, and we refute them like that. With the help of Allah, we destroy their arguments like this. You can destroy it yourself, those of my brothers and sisters who are listening. If you learn a bit more about tajweed and qiraat, you will have this empowerment yourself to refute and debunk this myth, this dreams that they have that the Quran is different.